all know that music entertains us, but there's so much more to it than that. Music is what brings us together. It can inspire, motivate, and heal. And just sometimes, a song can say everything when we can't. I'm so excited to bring you these wonderful tunes and artist stories. I'm Stacy Newman, and this is More Than the Music. Hey guys, welcome to More Than the Music. I'm Stacy Newman. Heartland recently had its 5th anniversary, and we brought Charley Pride to town to celebrate. I got to chat with him for a little while. It was a very special night. Charley Pride has sold countless records, had 40 #1 singles, and he's something of a peace advocate to boot. Some folks credit he and Willie Nelson with single-handedly integrating East Texas in the 1960s. Not an easy feat in the South back in the days when black musicians did not play white clubs. They co-headlined gigs there, and though at least one club owner received death threats when people found out that Charley was a black man, as soon as the audience heard him sing, they came around. Charley Pride might be turning 84 years old this month, but his stage presence is still just as captivating as ever. I got to chat with him right before he went on stage at Heartland's 5th anniversary. Let's check it out. We are here with Country Music Hall of Fame member, Grand Ole Opry member, 36 #1 hits maker, the legendary Charley Pride. It is so great to have you here. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Can you tell us how you got started in music in the first place? What brought you into it?
Well, I always sang. Bought me I guess it's known all over the world. I bought me a scissor buck guitar when I was about 14 years old, and when it came in the mail, and I always say this, and I think it makes me feel just as bad now as it did then. I was out in the wagon outside the house, and I left it out in the wagon, and it rained. And I never could keep it tuned, but that's just what I remember. And I remember my mother coming up on the porch. It was a shotgun house, three rooms, and it by me trying to tune it all the time, and it kept bowing. The neck kept bowing towards the guitar itself, and so she was coming up on the porch. She called it my box. Said, "You better go out there and listen." And says either rats running over your box or something. So I got up there, and I got there, we had buckled together. So I kept it and twisted it around and just messed with it. So last thing I remember having was the neck of it. And I remember being outside where we go from the road out to the gravel road, and that's where I remember seeing it lay in the dust. And I'm sure that Country Music Hall of Fame would love to have just any part of that, but I've just been from 14 years old to now. I mean, it wouldn't have been anywhere around anyway, so that's what I mean. And we listened to the Grand Ole Opry, and my dad had old Philco radio, and that's how I just got hooked on the music, and I would emulate everybody that had a big hit, Roy Acuff to Ernest Tubb to whoever. In fact, I love the comedians on there, Rod Bradsfield, Minnie Pearl, all of them. So my mother got, so she ordered the whole group picture of them, and I was talking with a guy that's working with Country Music Hall of Fame named Mansfield, and I was telling him about my mother doing that, and an announcer named David Cobb. He said, you. I said, his picture was right up. He said, I got 2 of them. I'm going to give them to you. So he gave me, I'm so happy he gave me that. So I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what it was like the first time you heard yourself on the radio?
I tell you what, I was going back down to my mother-in-law's in Mississippi once when we cut the snake trawl at night. And but I didn't hear it till I got back to the house, and I played it on I had a Gibson amplifier, and I had and I plugged it through there and turned it on real loud when I got to the house, my wife's mom and dad. So that's when I first heard it. My brother that I'm next to, he's in Colorado, and this is the truth. We used to sing, together and do things together and sing. all of us sing. You know, I just lost a brother 4 days ago. We're down from 11 now to six of us left. And so I just, it sounded like him. I always, at first I said, that sounded like my brother. It really did. That's the way I felt. And then later on, I got started getting used to it, and I said, well, that is me. But that's kind of the way I felt.
All right, guys, we'll be back with more in just a little bit.
I'm always there wherever I am. There between what I'm reaching for and the fingers on my hand. Blocking myself with things like words I shouldn't say. It seems I'm always standing in my way. Like the time I told you a lie, and I became the wall that stood between your heart and mine. I apologize, but the truth is, the truth don't ever fade. It seems I'm always standing in my way. My way is the hard way, I guess. Guys like me say no and me mean yes. I'd step aside if I could, 'cause I live for your embrace. But it seems I'm always standing in my way. Why you stand beside me, I don't know. There's so many places a girl like you could go. I hope you see enough in me to make you wanna stay. 'Cause it seems I'm always standing in my way. My way is the hard way, I guess. Guys like me say no and me mean yes. I'd step aside if I could, 'cause I live for your embrace. But it seems I'm always standing in my way. I'd step aside if I could, 'cause I live for your embrace. But it seems I'm always standing in my way. I'm always there wherever I am. I'm there between what I'm reaching for and the fingers on my hand.
Hey guys, welcome back to More Than the Music. I'm Stacy Newman. Today we are looking back on my chat with Charley Pride from Heartland's 5th anniversary. Let's get back to it. You were a professional baseball player before you went into music. How did that transition happen for you?
Well, that's where I was going to make it. I saw Jackie Robinson go to the major leagues, and I said to my dad, I was picking cotton beside him, I said, here's my way out of the cotton field. I said, I'm going to go to major leagues and break all the records there and set new ones. By the time I'm 35 or 36, then I'll sing. That's the way I had it all figured out.
That's a good plan.
And well, it didn't work out that way, but but I'm still involved. I'm part of one of the Texas Rangers now, so I always said I kept going up and down in that profession, and I said one of these days, what I'll do, I'll just make enough money to buy my own club and put myself on the roster. And so that's kind of the way I thought. And so in a way, I'm not on the roster, but I'm involved. Still involved with the Texas Rangers, so I'm happy about that.
All right, so you and your wife have been married for 61 years?
It'll be 61 years this December.
It's amazing. I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but can you tell us what your secret is?
She put up with me, and we both love each other. We truly never did try to change. You know, sometimes marriages and things, you try to, well, I don't like that, but I'll change it once we get married. Those kind of things never happened between us, and she's a very strong lady. And in fact, when I was in the Army, just before I got out of the Army, I got out. I went in Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, and got out in Fort Carson, Colorado. And I said, well, honey, we're going to need a car. And I said, so she came out with this big wad of money. And I said, where'd you get all that? You know, she was keeping our son. We had only one son then, the oldest one. And then my sister's 3 kids. They were paying her. And of course, she's a cosmetologist and a lab technician too. So I'm kind of high on the hog. And but I asked her, where did she get that wad of money? She said, I think we got a down payment here. I said, all right, I tell you what. I said, from now on, I'll make the money and you take care of it. That's the way it's been for soon to be 61 years.
It gives me chills. It's awesome. So I read a story about early on in your career, you were on a tour with Willie Nelson.
I recorded the song that he wrote called Family Bible. And I asked my guy that's been with me for 36 years, I said, when he come to do his part, we didn't do it, he came to do it with me, but after I had already done my part, and he came in, I said, when he gets there, I said, I'm gonna put a plan, and plus he kissed me, you know, right in the, So I said, I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna kiss him right in the blah. And he didn't get the picture. I mean, he missed the picture, so hopefully I'll get it one day before.
Yeah, I hope so. Everything I hear about Willie just
he's a piece of work.
Yeah. I'm reading his autobiography right now. There's a lot of interesting anecdotes in there.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people that are just getting started in the music industry nowadays?
I don't give advice. I give my opinion. I'll use an example. When I bought into the Texas Rangers baseball team, people say, "Oh, you part owner of the Texas Rangers?" I said, "Yeah, but I don't have enough big a chunk of it to make. I don't do no trading and buying and that sort of thing." I said, "But they let me at least give my opinion." So here's the opinion I gave to one. I said, where I explained it, I said, we have 2 billionaires and us little folks. It's about 16 of us that, you know, I don't know what all this one have, about what piece, how much they have, you know, ownership, but I don't guess they know mine unless they told them. The thing is that we had 3 first basemen, and I said to one of the billionaires, I said, Ray, I said, we got Jason Smoke, we got Mitch Moreland, and we got Chris Davis. I said, now, of the 3, Chris Davis is the best. But now, all we have to do is get him hitting. Over he goes to Baltimore, Orioles. Buck Showalter, he used to manage us too. And I had just been talking to Chris. I said, why do you pick the ball up? Because I was a pretty good hitter, still can hit a little bit, you know, at this age. But he said, he picks it up about 3/4 or what. I said, no. You got to pick it up from there, the fingers. I said, you ain't got time to 3/4 of the way. Now, this is me telling him this after I've talked to Ray Davis. I'm going to tell you how many home runs he hit after he went over there. After telling them that we had Chris Davis was the best. What do you think?
I'm not good with
53.
Oh man.
Hit 53 home. Now I don't brag or nothing, but I did say that to him. I did give my opinion. Now, to my opinion, to people that sing, I'll be glad to listen to their voice and give them an opinion about how good I think it is or But I don't make no predictions or nothing, because I've heard people say, well, he can't sing, and they end up one of the best singers in the world. So, so I'll just give my opinion, and that's because advice, I don't believe in advice.
Are there any contemporary artists around that you are particularly fond of? Who are you listening to these days?
Well, I listen most of the country.
Whatever's out nowadays.
I really don't listen to that. My mother loved Frank Sinatra. I didn't dislike him, but it was a lot of guys that. My first TV show was the Lawrence Welk, so I'll never forget him. I want and a two, give me my first network show. But I don't know. I mean, Bobby Darin. It's a whole bunch. Sam Cooke. If I get a chance to think about it, there's a whole bunch that because they all had big hits, a lot of them, you know, and I just saw Fats Domino passed away, and I used to like Blueberry Hill, and so if a song was big, I would, and I did, and I listened to it, I would, and liked it. That's just.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you have a favorite tour story from all the years you were touring? Is there one that just something funny that happened?
So many. I don't know which one to pick. I entertained the troops at the very beginning of my career, about 66, 67, 68. And there was no pictures or nothing released on me. And it was just country music, Charley Pride, and I shocked a lot of people. And so I played the NCO club, and I played the officers club too. So I was in this NCO club, and there was four, they were colored then, back then, soldiers sitting right near the door. And I came on and I said, I'm Charley Pride, I sing country music, I'm gonna try to give you a good show and all this. I started singing. After each song, they'd giggle, the four of them, right near the door. They would giggle, and so after about the third or fourth song, I stopped. My then and only manager I ever had was Jack Johnson. He was sitting right over, and he had his legs crossed, and like that. And I said, you four guys on the end down there. So every time, and I told them that I was Charley Pride country music singer. I'm not Michael Jackson. I'm not James Brown. I'm, you know, and I went into all that, and I hope you like it. Boom. I said, now, you keep giggling and you keep interrupting my show every time I do a song. I said, now, if you don't like it, you didn't pay nothing to get in. If you don't like it, you can go. But then he started doing like this, you know, manage. So he didn't want, don't challenge him, don't challenge him. But I did. I said, now, if you would just be so kind as to, if you want to stay, but you disrupted my show to the point I have to make mention of it. So I didn't say no more, and I did the show. And at the end, a sergeant came up, a black sergeant. He came up, and the four of them came up. So we wasn't trying to make fun of you, nothing like that. He said. So the sergeant said, yes, you were. I was in here. I saw you. So you did. That's exactly what he said. And so that's kind of the way my career's been. And I would tell people like I'm giving you here now, this interview, and I would say to a reporter, it just depends on which one they want to use. They say, how did you feel to be the Jackie Robinson of country music? How did you feel to be the first colored country singer? How did you feel to be the first Negro country singer? How did you feel to be the first black country singer? How did you feel to be the first Afro-American country singer? I said, I feel the same way when I was colored. I don't feel no different. So that's the way I use it to show the different various. That's just one. I can go, like I said, there's never been one iota hoot calls from any of my shows. I said, uh-oh, you give me that, I can't believe you gotta be lying, look. He giving me that, I can't be. I said, so I started naming my accomplishments. I have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame between Gladys Knight and Leonard Bernstein. Because see, sometimes they'll give you a star on the Walk of Fame and put it over near a little palm tree near off the side of the street, and maybe later at night somebody might just come along and, yeah. Then I said 3 Grammys, Grand Ole Opry, and I just come down the line. I said, now, you give me that, I can't believe you gotta be lying. Look, now, if if I'm lying, it ain't gonna get me no more stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It ain't gonna get me no more Grammys by me lying. You know, well, that's true, you know. Well, what do you think now? So, oh, now I gotta be the spokesman now for why do I think it was that way? But the only way I can do it, I do it real quick. They love my voice, they love my singing, because there was no pictures, and once the shock wore off, like you'll see tonight, I ain't been here in I don't know how long I haven't been here, but you're gonna notice the fans, I'm sure they're gonna make a big rousing, which I believe they will be, and then they're gonna listen and see if the voice is there. And it's not an unsaid thing. And when I get through the first song, then I'll do the second, and then by the time I get into the third song, then they'll be sit back and say, oh, well, maybe, you know, he's still got it, you know. So about middle ways of the show, you don't necessarily have to be women and be guys. Charley, you still got it. So it's that kind of thing. But the movie about my life is going to be so extraordinary, you ain't going to believe it. You see, you got every movie about a country music star that's been an Oscar. There might be 2 of them for mine. I can give a person, if he's going to come and write a script for me, I can give him enough to do 3 movies.
Yeah, you might need a whole mini-series.
Well, that could be a scene. That could be a scene. It's that kind of thing.
I mean, it sounds like you've lived multiple lifetimes. Charley, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've got to go now and do my show.
All right, well, break a leg.
Biggest single I ever had. Whenever I chance to meet some old friends on the street, they wonder how does a man get to be this way? I've always got a smiling face anytime at any place. Every time they ask me why, I just smile and say, you've got to kiss an angel good morning. Let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning. Love her like the devil when you get back home. People may try to guess the secret of our happiness. Some of them never learn that it's a simple thing. The secret I'm speaking of is a woman and a man love, and the answer is in the song that I always sing. You've got to kiss an angel good morning. Let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning. Love her like the devil when you get back home. Kiss an angel good morning. Let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning. Love her like the devil when you get back home. Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us this week, guys. It was great talking to Charley Pride. Check us out on social media and pick up Charley's book. We'll see you next week.